Ladies, do you find yourself sometimes getting kind of discouraged and upset and frustrated with your husband, and you sense that he's starting to get kind of frustrated with you, and you're kind of bickering and you're like, why doesn't he get it? What's his problem? He's probably thinking the same thing. One of the things that my husband and I have discovered is that we all hold these like subconscious expectations. We all have desires about the way that we think things should be on a number of different subjects related to our families, our homes, our marriages, etc. We have expectations. Often they're born from where we grew up or how we grew up, and so we think that that's how it should be done. And your husband grew up in a different environment. Everything wasn't exactly the same in his family of origin. And maybe he even has different dreams and aspirations, and all of a sudden you guys are kind of pulling in different directions and you're getting super frustrated with each other. Well, one of the things that could be super helpful is to actually be proactive and purposely, intentionally sit down and discuss your desires and expectations in a multitude of different areas that really affect either one of you. This is like a stroke of brilliance, and yet it's so doggone simple. Intentionally sitting down and discussing these areas ahead of time before you get into an argument, before you get frustrated with him. Why does he want to do it that way? Clearly that's not the right way. What if you were to sit down ahead of time? So we've prepared a resource for you to make this super, super simple. It might be something you could do on a date night. You could discuss one of these topics that we're going to suggest to you. Maybe 2 or 3 topics every time you have a date night, and just intentionally talk through both of your perspectives, your desires in these areas, your expectations in these areas. And you might find that you are in disagreement, but then proactively, before there's a big argument, you guys can say, okay, we're coming at this from a different direction. How can we maybe reach a compromise in this particular area? Let me give you some examples, because we've prepared this resource. It's on our Squadron of Sisters website, squadronofsisters.com. Just click on the free resources tab, and then you'll see a little PDF that you can print out for free that gives you a list of topics that you can discuss. Your expectations in many different areas of life where you and your husband need to discuss them and then come together in agreement into a compromise. So let me just give you some of the multitude of topics that you could purposely, intentionally discuss together. How about the time that you two spend together? He might have different expectations than you do. How about how you guys handle the finances? What about your family time, your church involvement? What about use of alcohol? What about gifts? I mean, what are your expectations? What are his expectations? I remember this was one of the huge arguments that my husband and I got into, is like, I just believe that we should, spend a lot of money on Christmas gifts because that, to me, just conveyed love. And he's like, what a waste of money. They know that we love them. We don't need to spend a bunch of money. I'm like, what? And we just needed to discuss this and come together in some kind of compromise. You might discuss disciplining the children. You might discuss vacations. You might discuss how much time the in-laws should be around. If you live in the same area, how frequently should they be dropping by? You get my drift? So many different areas that you can discuss proactively ahead of time so that you clearly understand each other's desires and expectations.